Man, the injuries continue to hit like a ton of bricks for the Washington Commanders as yet another player goes down to IR. And also, we signed Preston Smith. Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Juan Gotti talking sports. You know what it is.
Shout out Wall Gotti talking sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career, and he's already milking injuries?
Stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and Shawty is the winner. You can tell that Shawty love again now. She's confident.
So I want to first start by talking about this injury, man, as Jonathan Jones is now headed to IR, and that's another Washington Commanders player that got banged up from the Green Bay Packers game that won't be available for the next few weeks. And the reason why I feel like this hits a little bit, tougher, because we prided ourselves in coming into this season with having quite a bit of depth at that cornerback position, especially coming from where we came from last year. We felt like this depth at the cornerback position was really, really good. And it was a big reason for that being, was because of what Jonathan Jones was able to do in New England. He was a guy that's won Super Bowls, a guy that's been around for years, and we felt like, well, man, he's been a starter in this league, but we have him coming in here being our fourth corner. Like, this is really, really good, and now that he's banged up for the next few weeks, it sucks. It does, because the schedule doesn't get easier, and I don't mean to come off super negative. I promise you I'm not. I'm just real, right? Like, we lost another guy that we probably would need, right? Because just how you may feel like, well, one, we got him for depth reasons. He wasn't supposed to see the field. Nah, yeah, you're right. But now that he's out, we're one step closer to having to see one of these practice squad guys become up, or one of us having to be signed, or one of those guys having to be signed in free agency, right? Like, you got Jonathan Jones for protection, but you didn't expect for your protection to get hurt. Knock on wood. But it's one thing if your starters go down. Okay, cool. Next man up, your backups come in. Your backups going down, though, before your starters even get banged up. Now, what happens if your starter get banged up, right? Nothing can happen to either three of our cornerbacks now, in my opinion, because now we're going to be out of luck. Because how does your depth piece get hurt before your starters? And I'm not saying that like that's how that's supposed to be, because football is football. Anybody can get hurt. But that's just my point, like, of how important having depth cornerbacks are. Because now who do we have to lean to? Noah Igbenogany? They just wanted to trade him. I know they happy, like, I don't know what, that they ain't entertain trading Noah Igbenogany at this point. Because we would have been double out of luck had we decided to pull the trigger. Because remember, prior to the season starting, and with Noah Igbenogany playing a little bit deep into the final preseason game and hearing the noise that they were entertaining trade offers for him, had they pulled the trigger on that, and then you had Jonathan Jones go down, now your depth is completely screwed. You went from having 5 legit cornerbacks that you felt comfortable with to having just 3. And now you got to call up Colin Vickers, or you possibly got to call up Antonio Hamilton Sr., or you may got to tap into free agency. And Lord knows, it's probably, if you're still out here in free agency as a cornerback, it's a reason for that, So, good thing about the injury, I guess, is it happened in week 2. But if you remember, Jonathan Jones has been dealing with this hamstring since summertime. So maybe it happening so early is kind of a blessing in disguise, because now that he's going to be out for a mandatory 4 weeks, he'll be back maybe like week 6 or something like that in that Chicago, right before Dallas in week 7. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise, right? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that he can sit out. But I'm a little bit nervous now, because now we have to play clean and injury-free football here on out, because it can get real scary. I mean, we escaped the dark shadows of Benjamin St. Juste and Emmanuel Forbes and obviously Michael Davis last season. We escaped those days, and now we're 2 steps away from that potentially having to be our reality. Not those specific guys, but pulling from a free agent or practice squad guy. But depth purposes now, it's just no monogamy. So you got 4 corners on the active roster. It wouldn't surprise me if they decided to call up another guy, maybe sign a free agent guy. But hopefully he can get back right, because we're going to need him. We're going to need Jonathan Jones. And that's a big reason, again, why we were excited about this cornerback room, because we had a guy that had so much veteran presence and so much Super Bowl experience as our 5th corner, 4th corner. It's like, man, we're looking sweet. We looking sweet, you know? And now that he's out, it's just no monogamy. And again, thank God they did not decide to trade no monogamy, because it will be crazy right now. So he joins the list of John Bates, who's a long shot to play on Sunday. He's not playing, growing injury, most likely. He's out. Obviously, you got Jaden Daniels up in the air. I don't think he's playing. Dietrich Wise and Austin Eckler out for the rest of the year. Noah Brown probably not playing, most likely than not. Like, we are pretty banged up. And this Raiders team is coming off of a short week, so I would have loved to be like, yeah, we could take advantage of this Raiders team. They look bad on Monday. Geno had 3 picks. I tell you, the secondary of theirs does not scare me one bit. But you can't sleep on them now. You can't sleep on them. With all our injuries, and if 5 is not playing, it's going to be a little bit challenging, right? Max Crosby looking to have a field day on Sunday against Josh Connolly Jr. Hopefully our coaches get their head out of their tails and actually help the young fella out. But we'll see. In other news, though, in positive news, Preston Smith is back. We talked about it last night on stream, how he could be back here in Washington. And look and behold, the next day, Preston Smith is back here in Washington. And I've seen a lot of people trying to downplay this signing, which I get, right? It's not somebody who is in his prime that's giving you 12 sacks like he once did in Green Bay. But you're sadly mistaken if you don't think taking a chance on him is better than just sitting what we have, right? Like, we have not got anything out of the pass rushing department, whether it's Dorrance Armstrong or Dietrich Wise, who is now out for the year. Those are the only 2 guys that were truly giving us some type of compensation or some type of, I should say not compensation, but some type of production. Now that you take Dietrich Wise out, it's just Dorrance Armstrong. And again, I know it's like, Juan, what'd you expect? It's Von Miller at 36. But I'm like, damn, I thought I would have got something out of Von thus far. Now, it's only 2 weeks through the season, and maybe he'll come along at some point. But I thought I would have seen something from Von Miller that would have gave me like the confidence, like, hey, yeah, you know what? He signed here. He's giving us some type of production, something. But he hasn't really been giving us anything. Javonte Jean-Baptiste now has to become a starter again, and we'll see if he can provide you with anything defensive end wise. But Jacob Martin's not giving you really anything right now. So we'll see what Preston Smith does. Again, I'm all for this signing. Right, I don't expect him to be the Green Bay version. Shoot, I don't even expect him to be the 8-sack version that was here in Washington. But we'll see. We'll see what he can do. I think it's a good chance to take a shot on somebody notable. He was the best that was still out there. There was nothing good left out there in the pass rushing department. Preston Smith was the best they had to offer. Right, unless you want to go 37-year-old Jerry Hughes. Who wanted to sign themselves up for some Jerry Hughes at 37? We already are the oldest team in the league, and we already have Von Miller, who hasn't really given us much right now. So you might as well take a shot at the 32-year-old Preston Smith to see if he can just hold it down for this year, do something, give us some type of production for this season, because we have not been getting it from none of our guys. And pass rusher is a department that we already knew was struggling before we started the season. It was just kind of hoping like maybe Jacob Martin can blossom, maybe Von Miller still can give us something. Maybe Dorrance Armstrong turns the corner after having a strong preseason, which, again, he's the only one that's providing you with true pressure, right? Obviously, Dietrich Wise goes down. And then Javonte James Baptiste is, he cool, but I guess he really somebody that makes you a threat in the rest of the room. It's just non-threatening to get into the quarterback. That's why you had to put so much onus on the interior of Javon Kinlaw, Deron Payne, and Frankie Louvu. Can we please blitz Frankie Louvu? For the love of God, he is a menace when he's playing with his hair on fire. And I don't want to call it a regression from Frankie just yet because it's only week 2, but it's like, can we use him to his ability? Rushing the passer. You don't have this stout pass rush room, so use him. You need to go get the quarterback. Frankie Louvu was the best at that last year. But just a quick little video. Let me know what you guys think about it down below in the comment section. Jonathan Jones, IR, not good whatsoever. Just because the depth at the cornerback position was something that we prided ourselves on. Now it's getting tapped into. Again, our starters aren't getting hurt, but the people that are supposed to relieve our starters in case of injury is getting hurt, and that's not a good thing, if you ask me. And then we signed our own buddy in Preston Smith. I'm all for it. I love the signing. Hopefully he comes in and provide us with some type of spark because we need it. We haven't been getting anything out of production of pass rush, so hopefully P. Smith can tap back into his old self and give us something. It's funny, he played 3-4 here under Greg Minuski in Washington. Now we're running 4-3 with Joe Witt, so we'll see how he adapts. He had to adapt to that in Green Bay, and someone commented on the last live stream and said a big reason why he asked for the trade to Pittsburgh or wanted to go to Pittsburgh instead of sticking with Green Bay is because he didn't like the new system of adjusting to a 4-3. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind, but I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good, and hopefully he can give us with some type of production. But that being said, as always, being boy Juan Gotti, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 12,000 subscribers together. Appreciate me reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Peace.
Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.